Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today inshallah we're going to talk about two different makharij or two different letters. We have last session we talked, or last video we talked about the throat letters. We started with the throat letters and we said the throat al-halq, it divides into three sections. Section bottom of the throat, aqsa al-halq, wast al-halq, we have the middle of the throat, and adna al-halq, top of the throat. And we talked about the hamza and the ha in the previous video. And then today we're gonna discuss the makhraj of the ayn and ha, which is located in the middle of the throat. So with that we will start with makhraj al-ayn. Al-ayn, it comes out from the middle of the throat, from this area, and this is called over here lisan al-mazmar, the epiglottis. Lisan al-mazmar needs to be used. We have to use it in order for us to get that letter out. So if you don't use this area right here, it needs to go back in the throat. So you need to feel something going back in the throat for the ayn, and a little bit for the ha. For the ayn you would feel it more than the ha. So this little thing over here, epiglottis, it's gotta move back and forth, so for you to feel it. Like when you swallow, if you close your mouth and swallow, you can feel something here in the middle of the throat. When I say middle of the throat, people normally go here. This is not middle of the throat. This is your bottom of the throat. This is the bottom of the throat. So people usually go in this area and try to get that like that, or for example, a'lamu, they go a'lamu, ya'lamun. All of this is no. All of this is no, because you're not in the right makhraj. So when you're in the right makhraj, what happened? You get the right letter. If you're in the wrong makhraj, you get the wrong letter. So going up a little bit higher, start with the a. The a is here. You're gonna start from the makhraj of the hamza, go a little bit above, between the uvula and between the bottom of the throat is located the ayn. So as you see the chin right here, if you go directly with your chin like this, it's actually above the chin. So if you feel any work in your throat that is not in the bottom of the throat, that's not your ayn. Alright? So here's how you pronounce it. Start with the hamza and then go up and hold. A'lamu, a'lamu, ya'lamu, a'i, a'u. So back of the tongue should be down. Don't lift it. Some people lift this area up and they get a'i, a'u, something like that. And all of this is wrong. So you need to bring your voice from here, come out to the epiglottis, move it back a little bit into your throat, and get your voice out without elevating the tongue, the back of your tongue. That's basically makhraj al-ayn. Common mistakes in the ayn that people do is, again, to get it from here, a-i-u. So you don't, this is working a little bit, but most of the work is you're closing your throat basically. So this is just going back, but there's no voice here. Your voice is here. Your voice needs to go up in the middle. Or a'lamu. Okay? So that's one of the common mistakes. Another common mistake people do is like all of that pressure here and with air. So don't over squeeze on your throat. Don't over, especially the non-Arab. A lot of people, they tell you squeeze and push and all of that. It's actually no. There's not a lot of squeezing, pushing. It's just you need to use this area. That's all. Common mistake is going into the nose, and that's another common mistake that people do. So after you go in hamza, remember we talked about earlier when we talked about makhraj al-jawf, we said one of the common mistake people do in the fatha, dhamma and kasra is just like they do with the alif, waw and ya, because we said the fatha is the daughter of the alif, the dhamma is the daughter of the wa, and the kasra is the daughter of the ya. So all of them, fatha, dhamma, kasra, or alif, waw, ya, come out from this area right here. We said u, e. So I expect the fatha, dhamma, u, kasra, e, just like the alif, waw, ya. So don't take it in your nose. We said one of the common mistake people do is going into the nose. Why? They're not using their, after they use their jawf, they're not using the complete jawf. The jawf is the empty space in here and in here. They're not using this area. After here, they go into the nose. And that is not allowed. So in saying, that means you're going into the nose. We want Alright, this is for the ayn. I'm not giving all details about the ayn. This is just something to get you going with your own recitation, to practice. There's obviously always a lot of more information about each letter, but I'm trying to make the videos really short so people can watch it. Moving on to the other letter. So as we see, both letters come out from the same area, which is وسط الحلق, or middle of the throat. There's another letter that comes from here, is the ha. So this is the ayn over here, ayn, and this is the ha. The ha is the same. We need to use the epiglottis. Again, the difference is, we said with the ayn, you gotta squeeze it back a little bit more. With the ha, you need to leave a little bit more spacing for the air flow to go through. So you don't push this as much as the ayn. Epiglottis, you don't pull it back as much. Aha, it's a weak letter. This is a strong, loud letter. This is a weak letter. Aha, ahi, ahu. So I don't want aha, ahi, ahu. Again, from here, people do the ha from here, which is wrong. Just like they do the ayn from here, this is wrong. Aha, ahi, ahu, no. Aha, ahi, ahu, no. A, ai, au, or a, aha, ahi, ahu. I hope this has helped out a little bit with your own letters, with your fixing your own ayn and ha. Ayn and ha, the ayn is harder than the ha, because a lot of people struggle with this because they pull the epiglottis too much, either backwards, which is they close the makhraj, or they do it from here. So they struggle a lot, and they've never used their ayn and ha makhraj, or they've never used the throat to get out some letters, because most of the non-Arab, they don't have the ayn and they don't have the ha. The closest letters to be for the ayn for them is the hamza, and the closest letter for the ha for the non-Arab is the kha. They go ar-Rahman, Rahman. Why? Because they've never used this area. So we have to know how to use this area. They've used this area for the a, like a, apple, okay? But they didn't use the ha because they don't have that letter in their language. Alright, so how do I practice if I'm by myself? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing or not? You can always record and listen to your own recording, and you can I have actually recorded the قاعدة النورانية, and you can look up my name. You can just type this in the YouTube or Google. So just type BADIAKHAZAAL, that's my name, and you can put lesson 1, and right away you would get something. So this should take you to the قاعدة النورانية. Alright, you can practice the قاعدة النورانية. You can say alif, ba, ta, tha. Just copy me. It's all about like practicing your throat, even if you don't know what you're doing. You always need a teacher, as I said before. You always need a teacher. You always need someone to read to. You always need someone to hear you. Alright? So after you practice that, then listen to the ayn in the قاعدة النورانية. Repeat the ayn. Ayn, ayn. And then there's other letters. A. There's other letters. A, u, i. So practice those ayn. Keep clicking on those and repeating, and keep practicing. It's all in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives. Make dua, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you, but you definitely need a teacher. So what kind of one kind of practice that I practice with my student, I start off because they're all the way here. So for me to get them to this area, I say go all the way and say when you get, I said, to the last thing in your throat, to the top, like the top of your throat, just say and don't squeeze. And they actually do it. They think they're here, but they're actually here because they're very low. You understand? So I kind of use different strategy for them to get because if I say they don't get it. Non-Arab, it's very hard for them. So I say just get it out from here, and they get it. They go to this area exactly, and they get the Ain, mashallah. Many people kind of fix it this way. All right, and the Ha, same thing. Hold it. Not you're still here. You're not even moving back. Up. All the way. When you want to get out, speak out, then say the Ha from here somewhere. I know I'm just scribbling, but it's somewhere on the top. And that should take you to exactly the middle, not the top. Right? Because you think you're on the top, but you're not. You're actually in the middle. طيب, again, common mistake in the Ha, I said number one is the Kha. Ha, they go like that. Ha, he, hu. So when they say ha, he, hu, something like that, they're trying to blow air from here as much as they can, but they're not. They're blowing air from here. They try to use this, they're not. They're just blowing air, plus they're using Makhraj al-Kha. And later on, inshallah, we're going to take the Kha is here. So that's the closest thing to them, is the Kha. So they use the air, blowing of the air plus the letter Kha. Alright? This is, inshallah, this is the Ain, Mukhraj al-Ain, والحاء. Inshallah, when we get to Sifat, I will talk a little bit more about common mistakes, and I will talk more about how to pronounce this letter more, whatnot. But right now, this is the Mukhraj. I hope this is this will help you, inshallah. So far we covered the Hamza. We covered the Hamza, Ha. Then we covered the, over here, we covered the Ain and Ha. In the second video, we're going to take the Ain and Kha, inshallah ta'ala. طيب, جزاكم الله خير for listening. بارك الله فيكم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.